Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So we're moving on to World 2, so it's time to play as Luigi. I figured I'd play as the other characters when we go to each new world, so it's a little bit more variety instead of just Mario the entire time.
Mario.
I hope you're not counting Toad, and Toad in that.
I skipped one of the Toads to play as Toadette, but that's about it.
Okay.
This game is kind of weird, though, in that the world for the Petal Isles is kind of sprinkled out throughout the other worlds, which honestly I kind of like, because all in all, there is about 8 worlds of content in the game between worlds 1 through 6, Petal Isles, and Bowser's Castle. But it's not...
like in a way, it functions as a hub, but it also functions as a continuation of the game.
Yeah, because if you count up all the Petal Isles levels, it is about a world's worth. So... I find the way that this game is structured is really, really... It's not, like, drastically different from any other Mario game that you played before, but, again, the fact that they're willing to try different things, even minor different things, and make it feel cohesive, I just enjoy that a lot. Oh, mandatory water stage badge here.
To be fair, Dolphin Kick is fine. Like,
oh, no, I love
it. It really does just make underwater leveling just much better to deal with.
No, I do love it. I just kind of wish that this was just something that you always had, and then you could use a different badge underwater, you know?
True enough, yeah.
So, wait, what's the badge do? Oh, it lets you...
gives you... So whenever you see, like, the little flower petals coming out behind a character, they're using the badge ability. It's the same button that the spin is normally on. And in this case, so when you press the R button, you get this burst of speed underwater. You also get, there's a bunch of different ones. You can get one, so you get a parachute cap, so you can float. There's one where you get a vine grappling hook. There's ones that like make you run faster, get the Luigi jump. The badges, I think, are part of what make this game, like the main, just basic level platforming feel so much more fresh. Because Mario's never really had any kind of choice in how you play the game like this before. Other than...
Are you not including, like, I guess, power-ups?
Well, that's the thing. You don't really get to choose what power-up you get. Like, occasionally you get to choose. But...
No, you wouldn't even include those where games where you're allowed to store power-ups and just use them whenever?
Yeah, well, the thing is that if you're not good enough at the game, you don't get to keep the power-ups, you know? It's easy for us to forget because we're old and good at...
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. You're talking about having the skill to hold on to them. I'm talking about having the option to do it in the first place, though.
Well, that option doesn't matter if you can't... Like, if you are barely getting through levels without getting hit, it doesn't matter if you have the option to choose between Elephant and Fire Flower when you can't keep either of them, you know, and you're stuck as small or maybe big Mario the entire time.
The ability to store an extra power-up does mitigate that, but I do remember playing some of the older games and the new Super Mario Bros. Games and not really being good enough at 2D Mario yet to be able to reliably keep the power-up for more than a few minutes. So while it did provide some variety, it's not quite on the same level as what you get when you are able to have a permanent, like, moveset change or power-up that you don't need to worry about, that you can just use no matter how many times you get hit.
Yeah, there's also the fact that, like, sometimes, you know, if you're, you know, like Ryan is right now, big Luigi, and you hit a block and a Fire Flower comes out, well, you either get the Fire Flower or you get nothing. You don't really get a choice there. It's not like...
I mean, that's a choice. You can take it or you don't.
Yeah, but it's objectively worse for you not to take it. You know, like, there's, I guess, some slight choice.
I mean, I do agree. Like, I'm just pointing out, like, it was there in previous games, but it's not as streamlined as this game does it. That's what makes it better.
I would say it's different in that the power-ups are a reward for you playing well, versus this allows you to choose what kind of playthrough you want to have. Because you play the game differently when you have the floaty Luigi jump versus the running fast badge, just for example.
It's a bit like having the styles in the original Devil May Cry 3, where you have to choose a style before you enter a level.
I'm trying to find a way to phrase this that makes sense. Like, because what I'm processing in my head is that you're categorizing the badges as, oh, maybe for like this playthrough or maybe this run through the level, I'll use the double jump, or maybe I'll use the vine grapple. And again, the badges are just much more elaborate, and you know the play style differences are much more apparent. But I think about in older games where, and again, it's not the same thing, but please see where I'm going here. Sometimes I'll have times where it's like, maybe I'll try the fire flower for this level, or maybe I'll try the propeller the propeller cap for this level, maybe I'll try the penguin suit for this level, or maybe I won't default to the cape for the 76th time in Mario World for that one. Again, the point is different options to handle a stage differently instead of just flying over everything.
I guess it's just I just there's just a couple of different things. It's just one, it often can just, trying to do that in other Mario games often just feels like such a hassle that you don't want to bother doing it. Especially, you want to know what, actually, there's actually a good example of this. In new Mario on DS, there's a couple of stages where you would be like, oh, maybe the turtle shell power-up would be really good here. Except the turtle shell power-up, such a pain in the ass to get, that it's not even, like, why bother? Like, it's an option, yeah, but if the game makes it so difficult to make that option, it's just like, I don't want to spend 5 minutes going back to a level and then making the stupid block fly from this stage to that stage and resetting if it doesn't give me the thing I want. It's like, I guess, you know, it's like, if it's in like Mario World, for example, like, if you want to try this stage with a feather or versus a fire flower, the easiest way to do that's often to go back to the top secret area. But you also have to walk back to the top secret area, which is annoying. You know, versus here, if you die, you can switch immediately, which is, it allows for much more free experimentation, I guess is maybe a better way to put it. Where it's like, okay, I don't have to, you know, feel like I have to commit, because then I have to go back and then go the thing and get it and then walk all the way back, which is annoying, versus, oh, I died, maybe the grapple hook's good here. Switch,
again, the bottom line is that I do agree that Wonder, just with the way they handles the badges and because of just the immediate access you have to them at all times, just makes it an overall better experience. I was just pointing the fact that a similar kind of experience was in the older games, it's just, it was more out of the way.
I mean, I guess.
Can I just ask, why are there fractions of a purple coin?
I think it's mostly just to make the game feel more weird, really. Because if you end the stage with 983.6 purple coins, the 0.6 gets rounded down. It's always rounded down for the record,
stupid.
which is stupid. If I have 96 cents, I can spend 96 cents, all right? You know what? I can find 4 more pennies.
Not to mention, when I was growing up, I was told, it's like, if you were past a certain threshold, you round up, and if it was below a certain threshold, you round down.
Typically, yeah, if you're like,
It's like 0.5 and above, you round up. 0.4 and below, you round down.
Which isn't really quite fair, because then there's more values to round up from 5 than down for 4.
That's why you got to be more of a winner.
I think with money, that only ever applies with that like oddball third decimal digit that sometimes appears when you're buying something super specific like gas. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sure glad that gas is $4.07.99. You know, man, I'm sure glad that extra 1 cent every 10 gallons of gas that I save sure is worth it. Yep.
I mean, realistically, how fast do you burn through like $1 of gas?
If you sat there idling at a red light in bad traffic, you burn through $1 gas pretty easily.
By just finishing that sentence, burn through $1 of gas right now.
My car gets about 275 miles a gallon. Not a gallon. God, if we got 275 miles a gallon, we probably wouldn't have an oil crisis.
You begin to appreciate just like how insignificant those price changes in gas really are when you're a gig worker, and like no matter what you do, every goddamn day you're spending at least $20 to $25 on gas. You start to notice that, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm spending the same amount, whether it's 3.30 per gallon or 3.60 per gallon.
I mean, it does matter. Like if it's $5 one place and $4.90 one place, another place, that means 10 gallons of gas will get you an extra $1. Which again, isn't a ton, but it does add up over time,
Oh yeah. Well, I'm always going to go for the cheaper place no matter what, but like as the price changes day by day, I find it doesn't really affect me all that much. I'm still spending too much on gas.
Yeah. Ryan, buy something. Ryan,
I know
Buy some
I
gas.
should.
Fill the tank.
It's just because if you're trying to get all the standees, like you really do just need to spend your coins so you don't have this thing happen.
The problem is though, well, not so much a problem, but more preference. Do you spend the coins now, or do you just wait until you get the special world where you go to the shop that gives you a guaranteed different standee?
So I've done a little bit of math on this, and by a little bit I mean I did some theory crafting like 6 months ago and barely remember what I did.
Is this another gas tangent?
Maybe in disguise. We'll see 30 seconds from now. So basically it's 30 coins to get a guaranteed new standee versus 10 coins for the chance of a new standee. So effectively what that means is that if every 1 in 3 tries you're going for it, you are getting a new standee, then it doesn't really matter. So generally speaking, it's always best to start off doing random and then only get to the 30 coin guaranteed standees once you're getting really late into the process and you're starting to get 4 or 5 dupes in a row fairly frequently. Which happens much later than you would think it would, for the record. Like, when I replayed the game for the 3rd time, I was surprised at how long it took for the game to get to the point where I realized, okay, I definitely should be going for the guaranteed new ones.
Oh, wonderful. It's like I'm playing Genshin Impact again.
Yeah, you gotta do your Mario Gacha, different, math to try to see how long you have to wait until you buy the premium diamond pass.
Fortunately, Genshin isn't that bad about it, but no.
You see,
Is it not that bad, or have you just been really, really lucky to make it look like it's not that bad?
Well, I mean, they don't really have that much pay into it stuff. There's a battle pass. There's but you don't necessarily need to pay for that to get something out of it. You just pay to get more out of it. There's the Genesis crystals, which can be turned into Primo Gems, but you get Primo Gems normally by playing anyway, and at a pretty okay rate.
Yeah, I haven't played Genshin Impact yet. I've gone too far to start now. I actually hold a bit of pride.
So why even add yet? Do you think you'll ever play it?
No, absolutely not.
I've had a surprisingly positive experience with it for all that I started it out of morbid curiosity. So,
I mean, I don't care. Like to me, it's just there. Like people like it, they enjoy it. That's whatever. I just don't have any interest.
You know, I don't know what a Honkai Star Rail is, and I'm too old to find out. So
what?
A Honkai Star Rail? It's like Genshin Impact, but in space.
It's a turn-based RPG.
Oh, so... And...
Oh, Honkai. Okay, so I thought you meant like honk, and I.
Well, that's how I pronounced it, because I thought it was funnier.
It does kind of look like it sounds that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Honkai.
It's supposed to be Honkai, but
Honkai, yeah.
but when you transliterate it into English, it just looks like Honkai.
Do you have any more extra copies of that Honkai?
Bozo, you need to get help.
I need more Honkai, man.
My experience with Hoyo versus games so far has been pretty good. Setting aside the Natlan, why is this region that's obviously based on Africa look so white? But but you know, that happened after I started playing, so I can feel the fandom's pain on that one a little bit. I was actually surprised, though, by how well designed the open world was when I got to it.
Genshin Impact is waifu Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah, it kind of is,
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
Okay.
there are male characters in the roster too. It's sort of like Dead or Alive. There are quite a few of them.
Yeah, it's like, but who cares about Ryu Hayabusa?
It's like Dead or Alive with the caveat that there are actually a significant number of players who do care about the male players in the roster, or at least some of them. Venti seems to have a fan base.
Listen, if you have an anime game go on long enough, somebody will care about your male anime character, no matter how. I'm not going to disparage the character. Maybe it is well written. I'm just remembering I was reading Kaguya Love is War, and there was a note by the author that was at the end of one of the volumes where he made a comment about like nobody cares about the men in a romantic comedy, which is why there's only like 3 prominent male characters in that entire series, which I find pretty funny.
To answer that little musing at the beginning there, it is actually pretty well written. I'm enjoying the story, and the voice acting is solid. So
In Genshin Impact?
yeah, it's good. The world's got some good lore, memorable design. I'm already like pretty in love with Mondstadt as a region, actually. But I like the farthest I would go in praising the game is saying this is a pretty decent example of how to do gacha stuff without ruining the fun of an actually good game. But back to Mario, which wait, who is Prince Florian anyway?
So he is the prince of the Flower Kingdom, I think is what this place is called.
Yes.
And anyway, Bowser stole his castle, and we're helping him get it back.
When
He's cute.
It's great to see them expanding the lore and the setting. But when are we finally going to see the Waffle Kingdom?
The Waffle Kingdom doesn't exist, Lois.
No, but that's the perfect punchline to that joke. 20 games later, you visit the Waffle Kingdom, and Mario turns to Luigi with just this dumbfounded look on his face because he didn't think it existed.
No, but that's like that you play it for drama. It's like the music gets really somber, and you look at Luigi and say, "There never was a Waffle Kingdom, was there?"
And it turns out Princess Peach is really good friends with the monarch there, so Mario could have found out that the Waffle Kingdom existed all along just by telling Peach this story that Luigi told him once, but he never did because he thought Luigi was bullshitting him the whole time.
I mean, it's one of the funniest jokes about the Waffle Kingdom thing is that Luigi is telling you his souped up version of what happened because he, is making himself look good. And when you talk to his party members, they tell you how he screwed up the whole thing. But you can, in the post game, buy novels that are the novelizations of Luigi's adventures in the Waffle Kingdom, which are either even further exaggerated to the point of making Luigi look near godlike, which is really, really funny.
So it's the Mario version of Sword Art Online.